Bionox is motivating wellness. So let's get into the nutrition part of it. You already mentioned you got a smoothie bar where you offer protein shakes and some nutrition there. So we're going to transition into that. You have a background also in nutrition. So as you know, this molecule back here, nitric oxide, is something that just blew me away when I first heard about it in 2005. Changed everything I was doing. I had a background in naturopathic medicine and had a practice. And when I learned about nitric oxide, I just couldn't believe all the things that it did for your body. And just got super excited about it to where I actually sold my practice. And this has been my focus since then. So, how did you first come to find out about nitric oxide? Obviously, being in the world that you are, you would have be familiar with it, but do you remember when you first started hearing about it?
It has begun to show up on the radar with a lot of energy drinks and things like that. I was familiar with it, never actually personally had experience using the product. So we talked a little bit before we started videotaping how we did start doing some research. We found that this makes sense to us as my husband and I get older. We're both 50. And it's one of those things that we want to make sure that our bodies are utilizing what we give it. And that's one of the most important things people don't realize. You could take a stack of supplements, but if your body doesn't utilize it properly, it's a waste of your money and it's a waste of the product. So, what you have put together is an absolutely phenomenal product that is utilized by the body. It's you literally, I tell people, and they think it sounds kind of hokey, but when I started taking your products, you could feel it working instantly. And that's the nitrous oxide. That's what it's the best carrier to get things in and working it to your system's betterment.
Absolutely. So I see you got a nice little display of some of our products behind you there. Thank you. So when you first, I know you had requested some samples, and so did you get all of them at the same time pretty much? We got our Knox
Uh,
3 beats, the greens, the M3.
We got the M3 and the greens to start.
Gotcha.
I had my husband try the greens. I tried the M3, and so then we switched.
Okay. Cool.
And I've used a lot of homeopathic natural medicine in my lifetime. I've just really felt that my chiropractor has a background in kinesiology.
Nice.
So muscle testing, if you know anything about
Oh
that,
yeah.
your body knows what it needs, and to feed it something it doesn't need makes no sense. So so we did some test out with the greens and the M3, and it turned out the M3 is a product that I needed in my system.
Got
So
it.
Tim continued with the greens. I took the M3 and I couldn't rave enough about it. Um, if you check our records, we've ordered and reordered and reordered.
Right.
We have a very good reputation with our clients, and that you can't buy. We don't schlep a lot of different supplements. We don't carry supplements as a rule. When there's places online you can get things all the time at usually cheaper than what is a club I can buy them. Mm. Which thank you very much for that support. As a small business from one to another, it makes a big difference to
Good.
recognize that everyone's on the same playing field sales wise.
Absolutely.
At any rate, we just started really sharing this. We did a Facebook video post letting
Hmm.
people know that we have this new product that Tim and Lynn are using, and we are recommending it. If you find that you have fatigue in your life, if you have healing that you need addressing, if you just want to feel overall better wellness, if you don't eat your veggies and you need a green product in your life, this is the one for you. And we had people calling us like crazy because they're like, you guys don't do this. You don't just jump on a bandwagon. Obviously, this must be something special. So that's kind of how our relationship with our members is. And we're very happy about that. And yeah, like I said, and that brought me here with you today. So I'm very pleased that we were able to work together.
Absolutely. And quite honestly, to have you on board with us is a feather in our cap because you are like our other practitioners, they're that relationship with your clients is very special. You never want to advise anything, you never want to encourage anything that's going to be somehow not up to snuff. You don't run a practice, you don't run a gym that is just about come and work out. You want to make sure that you personalize what you're doing, what you say to your customers is important, and so for you to adopt what we're doing is again, it's a feather in our cap. So we appreciate that you have trusted us enough and to your point, you tried it on yourself first because
Oh,
you
absolutely.
wanted to make sure that that was the case. You got your doctor involved and do some testing with it. I mean, those are all very quality things. So just a little bit, I might just interject. So the difference with our M3 products are the more arginine citrulline based, which works through the arginine pathway. And then our greens and our beets work through the nitrate pathway. So they both create nitric oxide. The M3 generates it through your cardiovascular system. The beets and the arugula or the greens powder, they work really through your digestive system. So sometimes each pathway can be a little compromised. So using both of them can be quite advantageous when there's challenges there. But one thing I will mention, since you mentioned the greens, there's a ton of greens products on the market, and if they have spinach, kale, you know, wheatgrass, all these various different types of greens, they should have what are called nitrates. And nitrates are what create the nitric oxide. So ours is different in that I've tested many of the greens powders on the market, and they're good. There's nothing wrong with them, but they just don't have the nitrates in them. So ours is different in that it truly is a nitric oxide boosting supplement along with all the other benefits of the 26 superfoods that we put in there. In fact, you may have noticed we put the strips in there so
Yes,
people can
yes,
test their saliva. So we want to make sure that people really realize that this is not just a Me Too product. We put those in there so they can actually see for themselves that it's working. So very cool. So obviously, I would assume that for you, the M3 is probably your favorite Bionox product,
it is my
personally.
favorite. It is
Yeah,
my favorite. Yeah, I
good,
enjoy. I use the beets. I use the beet lozenges as well.
good, very
So
good. Yeah, those
those
work
are,
great
yeah,
together.
both
Absolutely.
fabulous. And I do
Cool.
notice for myself, I'm using the M3 once a day unless I train really hard. If I have a
Got it.
really hard workout, I take it a second time. And I didn't put it together till I was doing some sleuthing before you and I got to meet, watching other videos that you had done with other specialists. And you made a comment about sleep. And I'm like, son of a gun. Yeah, I am sleeping better. And it was just a side effect that I didn't actually connect with my using the product, but it absolutely 100% is coming in, full circle into helping me sleep better as well.
Awesome. Yeah, nitric oxide helps recovery, but then the arginine also stimulates the HGH, the human growth hormone, so that you get this really good restorative sleep. So that is very cool. Now, in working with your clients with the product, have you heard any reports back as to what your clients are saying
Oh my
at this
gosh.
point?
Well, the repeat sales tells me everything. We have, like mentioned earlier, we have a lot of age variety in our client base, but we have, like I said, we have folks that come to us that just really trust us. And we would never recommend something just to see it move off the shelf. That's not the point. This is going to help you get better. This is going to help you feel better. And that's really where it starts and finishes. And I've actually asked every single one of them, how do you feel? What do you think? A lot of products aren't as water soluble as this. I mean, my gosh, you can start with a spoon, and that's, so you got to pay attention to all those little things, which you obviously have in creating this wonderful product, because folks will think of all kind of reasons not to. How's it taste? Is it chunky? Is it this? Is it that? And this just checks off all the boxes for every single person that we've spoken to. We have folks that have tried other nitrous oxide products and they're coming back to us. So I think that speaks volumes. Folks that have never tried supplements ever are coming back to us for another monthly supply. We're selling more of the larger container just because people realize that it's a better value, number one. And number two, that it's something they're going to continue to use on a day-to-day basis. So
Yeah.
yeah, nothing but good reports.
Awesome. Very cool. Well, we did put a lot into it. Compliance is a key factor, so you do want it to be something that they look forward to taking. It's not easy to get that much arginine to taste good, as well as the herbs that are in it. So we've had to spend a lot of money and time to create something that was palatable, that people could look forward to using. And to your point, it needs to mix up good for absorption. We also put a very expensive herbal complex called estrogen, which is part astragalus and ginseng, Chinese herbs that have been researched to increase the absorption of the arginine by over 60% as
Just another
compared
bonus.
to without it. So that's a very expensive ingredient. So as a result, we have a very expensive product, but it's got to work. And so, that we didn't hold back. We put in everything that needed to be there, regardless of expense, so that we could create a product that people would continue to benefit from and feel the results and continue to take. So it has been a real pleasure to be with you today, Lynn. Again, Lynn Kreider from LJ's Fitness. And again, that website is
ljsfitness.com.
awesome. So people can get in touch with you that way. So as we finish up our interview, again, our tagline, we're motivating wellness. You're motivating wellness in what you do. So any parting suggestions or advice that you can give to our listeners?
Well, it's just we talked about it a little bit earlier. Don't wait, just start. And my only caution with just starting is to qualify your source. Like I said, we did a lot of research before we decided to do business, and honestly, I couldn't be happier. It's the same thing whether you're looking for a trainer or a nutritionist or whatever you're looking to start. Just qualify your sources. Ask for references. Ask for their background. Um, there are a lot of folks that you can do things overnight on the internet and really have no quality experience. So 30 years has given me a lot of quality experience. And like you said, trial and error. I tried on myself first. And so, yeah, I really think the biggest thing is to just get started through this whole COVID nightmare. As a world, we need to focus on getting healthy and getting well and taking care of ourselves. And that's our best vaccine, is just taking care of ourselves, being healthy.
100%. Well said. Thank you for those points there. We do have to, health doesn't come in a pill, even though we have nutrition that we offer. It's a whole complex. You need to have your physical life in order. Our bodies are made to move, and we got to move them. We got to have good nutrition. We need to be sleeping, water intake, the emotional component. All those factors need to be really in place. And you guys are doing an awesome job in your part of that you play in that in those factors there. So we appreciate what you're doing. Thank you so much again for joining up with Bionox, and thank you for taking time to chat today.
Well, we thank you very much for creating such a great product. Thanks so much for this time. Appreciate you very much.
You got it, Lynn. Have a great day, and we will talk soon.
Sounds wonderful. Bye bye.